Good morning, children. So, yesterday we did about the agriculture part, we completed on it. Today, we will be starting with the industrial development. So, the developing countries like India can progress only if they have a good industrial sector. Industry provides employment, which is more stable than the employment in agriculture. Industrialization promotes modernization and overall prosperity. Due to this reason, 5-year plan stressed a lot on the industrial development. At the time of independence, the variety of industries was very limited. The cotton, textile and the jute industry were mostly developed in India. There were only two well-managed iron and steel firms, one in Jamshedpur and another in Kolkata. So there was strong need to expand the industrial base with a variety of industries. So obviously, a country which is developing, it needs a sound industrial base to be a developed nation. Okay. Industries absorb a large amount of labor force. They employ a huge amount of labor than the agriculture sector. Okay. So it was needed to develop a good industrial base so that the burden that the agriculture was having, it can be released. The people, those who were unemployed, they can get some employment. Okay. So industrialization also promotes modernization and overall prosperity. And now due to this, the 5-year plans provided a huge stressed hugely on the industrialization or the industrial development. At the time of independence, the variety of industries was limited. We have already discussed that handicrafts industry suffered a setback. Cotton and jute industry was in India, but the raw materials after that means the fertile soil after the partition went to Bangladesh and Pakistan. So the cotton, textile and the jute industries were mostly developed in India. There were only two well-managed iron and steel industry. You have to remember it, one in Jamshedpur and other in Kolkata. So there was a strong need. So we did not have any industry which made machines. Remember, we have discussed. There was no industry which used to make machines which will be used in further production or any other such kind of tools, which made us dependent on USA, or you can say which made us dependent on the British people for the supply of those machines or the supply of those capital goods. Okay, so there was a strong need to expand the industrial base with a variety of industry so that we do not have to depend on them. Okay. So now, what was the role of the public sector in industrial development? Public sector I have already discussed, the sector which is under the government, okay, which is government run. So the first was, at the time of independence, the big question which the policy makers was facing, that to decide the role of the public sector and the private sector in the industrial development. The very first reason for the confusion was the shortage of capital with the private sector. Means the private entrepreneurs did not have enough capital to undertake investment in industries required for the development of the economy. So at the time of independence, Tatas and Birlas were the only private entrepreneurs. As a result, the government had to undertake the responsibility of industrial investment through public sector undertakings. Lack of incentive for private sector. The Indian market was not big enough to encourage private industrialists to undertake major projects. If the market is huge, means there are consumers to consume the final product that you will be selling. You have the market for your product, then only you will have an incentive to invest in that market. Okay, so the Indian market was not big enough to encourage the private industrialists to undertake major projects, even if they had the capital to do so. And due to the limited size of the market, there was low demand of the industrial goods. That is what I discussed. If the market is small, if the demand for your good is not generated, then there is no use producing. There is no use investing. So that is why the private individuals did not have an incentive that will encourage them to come and invest, as the market was limited. Objective of social welfare. The objective of equity and social welfare of the government could be achieved only through direct participation of the state in the process of industrialization. So the objective of equity and social welfare of the government could be achieved through what? Through direct participation of the state. Obviously, if social welfare, private individuals, I have already discussed, in a capitalist economy, it is fully run by private individuals. So social welfare is neglected. However, if social welfare and equity is to be achieved, government has to come for direct participation through public sector undertakings. As a result, state had complete control over the industries. That was vital for the economy. The policies of the private sector had to be complementary to those of the public sector, with the public sector leading the way. So all in one, the government took the full control, or the maximum control you can say. Okay, and the public sector and the policies of the private sector had to be equal to the policies of the public sector, as the public sector was leading. Okay. Next, we will be moving to the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1956.